Hey guys, how's it going? Clayton here with eTrailer.com. Today we'll be taking a look at, and I'll show you how to install, Curt's power taillight converter on our 2019 BMW X3. So you might be wondering, why do I have to have trailer wiring if I'm going to be towing a trailer? It's so that we can keep everybody safe on the roadway, so they can see our running lights, tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals. Our kit is going to work with 2-wire, 3-wire, and pulse modulation wiring systems. This does connect right to your vehicle's factory wiring and to your vehicle's battery. One really nice feature about our BMW in particular is when we're not using our 4-pole, it does fit right in this compartment here. You can just tuck that down in there, add your cover, and not worry about it. And then when you're ready to tow, you can pull our 4-pole out. You can even put your cover back on if you'd like. And then you can drape it out of your vehicle into your trailer connector. You do want to make sure that it's not getting pinched by your door latch or anything else that might be in your cargo area. And one nice feature about our kit is it comes with this dust cover for our plug. This cover will protect our wiring from any dirt or debris that might get in here. So in terms of installation, this install is not bad at all. There's a few quick connects, so you have to splice some wires and run our wire across the vehicle to the taillight into our battery. It's not that hard, it's pretty straightforward, very quick. To start our installation, we need to remove our taillights. There's going to be a small push pin here. We're going to take a flat blade screwdriver and pop that out. You do want to be careful because sometimes that can shoot out. You don't want to hit your eye. Now we can go ahead and remove this panel. When you pull that aside, there's two 10mm bolts here. We'll take those off. And we'll do the same to the other side. We can come to the back of our trunk, remove our taillight access panel, and this just kind of pops out. We'll set that off to the side. And there'll be a 10mm bolt located right here. We'll go ahead and take that off. You do want to be careful not to drop that down behind our taillight. I'm going to grab a magnet and pull that out. So we can now pop out our taillight. It comes out really easily. You don't want to pull too hard because our wiring's behind there. There'll be a push tab on the other side. Reach in, push down, and our taillight will come right off. There's an access hole through our trunk here, so I'm going to pull that out the other side. That way we have a little bit more room to work. So our wiring's right here. We can go ahead and pull this out. Might have to wiggle it around a little bit to get it out of our carpet. Our green and blue wire is going to be our brake and turn, and our yellow wire is going to be our taillight. So now we can go ahead and splice in the wires from our kit. So we're going to take our yellow wire and match that up with our green and blue wire. On our quick connects, we're going to put our yellow wire into the side with the stopper. Take our green and blue wire, slide that into this side. Make sure that's completely in there. Then we can grab pliers and crimp down that silver block. When that's crimped down, you can give it a tug, make sure it's not going to move. Add your lock. Now we can run our brown wire. We're going to put it in the side with the stopper. Add our yellow wire on this side. Grab our pliers and crimp it down. Add our cover. I'm going to add a little bit of electrical tape and then push our plug back through. Before we mount our box, I'm going to go ahead and add our black power wire to our wire on our box. So now we can crimp down our butt connector on our black wire. You can take the black wire from our box, add that to our butt connector, and crimp that down. Since this wire is a little bit smaller, I'm going to crimp both sides, and then I'll add a little bit of electrical tape. So because we're running a 2-wire setup, our red wire and our ground wire have to be grounded together. So I'm going to cut the ring terminal off of our white wire. Then I'll strip back both ends of our red and white wire. We'll spin these together. I'm going to cut it back just a little bit. And then we're going to spin that just a little bit. Add our ring terminal. We're going to crimp it down. So I've determined right here would be the best place to mount our ground. So I'll grab our wires. I did clean this off with some rubbing alcohol. Then we're going to go ahead and take a self-tapper provided in our kit. Now with our ground mounted, I can go ahead and mount our box behind this black plate right here. So our kit's going to come with some two-sided tape. We'll peel this back, put it on the back of our box, peel back the other side, then we'll stick it on the back of our plate here. And then if you like, you can come back through and zip tie any wiring just to clean things up. So now with our wires complete on our driver's side, we need to figure out how we're going to route our wires to our passenger side. It seems like there's a lot of room underneath this panel. So I'll probably try to go underneath this paneling and over this way. Luckily our battery is located right here, so that'll make our power connection very simple, and we're only going to have to run one wire over to our taillight on our passenger side. Sometimes the double-sided tape isn't strong enough to hold the box, depending on how you run your wires, so you can always use zip ties like I have here, and that'll keep our box from moving. So this little panel comes up. All you have to do is use a flat blade screwdriver, give it a quarter turn to the left, and then we can access our battery. I'm actually going to take our green wire and run it behind our battery, underneath this panel, and up through our access panel on our passenger side. So when I was getting ready to run our green wire, I noticed we didn't have quite enough. So what I'm going to do is strip this back, add a butt connector, and then we should have enough wiring to get us to that tail light. So now we can go ahead and take out our passenger side tail light and our access panel to run our wiring. We're going to use the same 10mm bolt tucked back behind that wiring, and in that kind of like that foam, we'll take that 10mm bolt out and pop out our tab on our tail light. Now with our green wire ran mostly to our taillight, we can now remove our taillight. It'll come apart the same way that our driver's side did. Now on our passenger side, we're ready to make our connection. We're going to take the green wire from our box, put that on the closed-in side of our quick connector. We're going to grab our green and gray wire here, then we'll do it the same way where we put the wire in and crimp down. And now we can go ahead and push our plug back to the outside of our vehicle. So now we're ready to reconnect our taillight, then we can hook up our power. So underneath our access panel, this is where I ran our green wire underneath. I also did the same route with our black wire. Now our battery's right here, which is really convenient. So we can go ahead and cut our wire. So we can go ahead, strip back this end of our power wire. We'll take our fuse connector. You always want to make sure that your fuse is not there. So we can take this, cut it in the middle. We'll be stripping back both sides of these. One side will get a butt connector that'll connect to our power wire, and the other will get a ring terminal to connect to our battery. Go ahead and spin these back. Crimp that down. We can grab our power wire and add that to this side. I might go ahead and trim this back a little bit too. You just don't want to leave any wires exposed off the back. So with that cut a little bit shorter, it should fit nicely, and it does. So we can crimp this down. Now we're ready to add our ring terminal to this side. So then we can crimp down our ring terminal. So we're going to go ahead and take the top bolt off of our ring terminal. This is a 10mm bolt. We will drop our ring terminal down on top of there. Then we will add our hardware back to the terminal. So now we can kind of push our cover back. If you want to, you can trim off this tab just so it fits a little more snug. But once you have that done, we're good to add our fuse. With our fuse added, we can go ahead and test everything out. If everything works properly, we're good to replace all of our components in the reverse order that we took them apart. Now we have our tester hooked up, and we can go ahead and test out all of our lights. We'll start with our brake lights, followed up by our running lights, then our right turn, and our left turn. This access panel has a nice tub back here, so when we're not using our 4-pole, we can tuck it back there and replace our cover. And with our panel reinstalled, that's going to do it for a look at and installation of the Curt power taillight converter for our 2019 BMW X3.